Hello everybody and welcome to another video. So today we're going to do something we haven't done for quite some time, and that is a cheeky little unboxing. In particular, this behemoth right here, the Metal Gear Solid Integral Edition board game. So I pre-ordered this early 2024. I've been looking forward to it ever since I did pre-order. I am a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. It is one of my favourite PlayStation games of all time, and I know it is generally considered to be one of the best games on that system anyway. So when I heard there was a board game of it, I thought it's something I definitely do have to get hold of. And of course, seeing that it was published by Come On, I have their Bloodborne board game, which I absolutely love, despite the fact that it is really, really difficult at times to play. So, yeah, we're going to take a quick look at this. So, there is a little bit of a story behind this board game, I believe. This was originally announced back in 2019, and it was originally meant to be published by IDW. However, something happened along the way, and by 2021, the deal fell through. So, it was left in a little bit of a limbo. However, fortunately, Come On did come on board, and they were able to resolve whatever issues there were, publish it under their own banner, and now we finally have it. So this is the Integral Edition, which you got if you pre-ordered. I don't know if these are also available in stores at the moment, but the big bonus you get here is instead of a tile to represent Rex, you get an actual model itself of it. So, let's have a look, and we'll mention a bit about Metal Gear Solid. For anyone not aware, Metal Gear Solid is a franchise. It's actually the Metal Gear franchise, started back in the late 80s, known for being created by Hideo Kojima. Metal Gear Solid was, at the time of release, considered to be one of the best PlayStation games out there, as mentioned. I remember myself personally getting the demo of it with official UK PlayStation magazine, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I do believe it was the only demo to come with the magazine at that time. Of course, we are going back some 20 odd years, so my memory might be a little bit hazy on that, but I do remember bouncing off of it at first. I was only about 10, so I couldn't quite comprehend the style of gameplay it was asking for. However, I do remember friends at school, they played it and really enjoyed it, so I gave it another go, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I learned its little tricks and intricacies, how to distract the guards, the fun of distracting them, going around, sneaking up on them, getting through it without being spotted at all. It was just a really bloody fantastic game, and became one of my favourites. I remember getting it. I remember not necessarily understanding all of the plot, but a lot of the moments in it stuck in my mind. You know, the whole cyborg ninja thing, the corridor where he's killed all of the guards, the Psycho Mantis fight, fighting Vulcan Raven in the tank, the Hind D, and all that just really stuck with me, and I've loved the franchise ever since. So definitely knew I had to get a board game based on it. So enough kind of little preamble there. Let's take a look at what we get here. So first thing out the box are your little tokens. I've not popped these out of here yet. I've had this for about a week and a bit. I haven't had a chance to sit down and play, but I wanted to kind of save popping anything out until I could do some boxing. So it's just a good variety of tokens there, representing different things. I'll have to have a look at the manual to sort of see exactly what they're all doing. But you can kind of see, you've got like a, get that free with the camera. There's an interact to place the elevator on this tile. You've got the tank itself there. You've got tokens representing different characters. So, yeah, these feel really nice. All these board games, they all feel really nice and solid. The only thing I would advise for anyone getting into board games is be careful when you do pop these out. Sometimes I do find that they have a tendency to not be cut properly and don't always like to pop out properly. And if you catch it wrong, it can damage a token itself, which these things cost a lot of money, so you kind of want to keep it as pristine as you can. So next up, and we won't dwell too long on all of these, and I'll be, obviously, you'll be seeing this in the video, but I'll be taking videos showing them a little bit closer. You get your tiles based on Shadow Moses Island. Metal Gear Solid is, of course, the story of terrorists taking over the Shadow Moses nuclear facility, making demands for the remains of a a dead person called Big Boss to be returned to them, and you as Solid Snake are sent in to infiltrate the facility and find out what they're really after. So, have a look at what we've got here. So this is the cargo dock. So you might recognise this if I put it from this view. This is the very start of the game. So you come up here, and you come along, and I think this is the very start of the game. Yes, it is. It doesn't look exactly the same as the actual map, but yeah, usually what you do, you come up here, and you sneak under here, and then you get your first guard, he'd be roaming. It's very, very hard when I'm reversed on the camera, by the way, just in case you are wondering. And yeah, the guards would be patrolling around, and you'd knock on the wall here, and he'd come, and you could sneak around and snap his neck. It was lovely. And yeah, other parts of the game, the blast furnace from the latter parts of the game, and I don't want to spoil too much, but if you have not played Metal Gear Solid, I 100% recommend you go and do so. It might feel a little bit dated nowadays, but it is genuinely one of the best games on the PlayStation. Got the lab there, where you meet Otacon, as well as fight the Cyborg Ninja. On the flip side of it, these all have different sides, is the heliport from, again, the earlier stages of the game. And these are all really, really lovely. I can, as I'm going through these, I can hear the music from Metal Gear Solid in my head. I can hear the little dings of, like, doors opening and just the various sounds that are made from it. You can, it's just really, really well made. Really nicely rendered on there. Like that snowfield and that. And see there, you got little icons, probably telling you where to put ammo pouches. But yeah, these are lovely. These are lovely. Nice big size, nice and like good quality. Good quality stuff there. So next up, gonna have to make some noise unfortunately. But next up we have the books themselves. So what you get with this is you get your actual Shadow Moses campaign book, which takes you through, I believe it's about 14 stages, including boss fights. And this is basically the plot of the first game in here. So we'll have a look, and almost straight away, I'm in total love with it. Because as you go through, you get like your layouts on one side, and you get like a nice little sort of comic illustrations on the other, sort of depicting the events, and that is absolutely gorgeous. The manual for the first Metal Gear Solid game was really well made. It had like this really nice comic art style. You get your standard rulebook, which, again, it's a rulebook. It tells you how to play the game. You get something here called Codex. So yeah, quite a lot of booklets here. So these are like the codec transcriptions, telling you what's being said at a particular time. It looks like it's, yeah, it's colour-coded to tell you who is saying what. So in the first one, you just sort of see like the communications and everything there. It's really nice to make. You get a lot of stuff. And then finally you get a book of VR missions, which are standalone missions. Now the original game came with something called VR missions as well, which was sort of little training modules to get used to how to play the game. Metal Gear Solid 1 did actually have an expansion pack as well, which was all varying difficulty VR missions as well. So yeah, these are just, if you don't want to do the campaign, you can do these still standalone missions. I guess they help you get used to the game. Should mention as well, this is a game that is between 1 to 4 players. A lot of board games nowadays are, especially of this sort of nature, are 1 to 4 players, or 1 to a certain number of players. You know, a solo player is quite a cool sort of concept, especially if it's hard to get friends around. You know, having one other person can be one thing, but getting a full group of 4. So, other things we get, the tile for Metal Gear Rex, the titular Metal Gear. We get the top of the comms tower, yet more location cards there. And this is, if anyone's played Metal Gear Solid, you'll recognise this. This is where you fight Revolver Ocelot in the game. So other things we get in here, as I get stuff out of the box, we get a guard dashboard. So on the side of that, It tells you where to place your guard stuff, so the order deck for guards, the active guard order card, a guard reaction deck, and active guard reaction card. So I presume as we play through the game, when it's like a guard turn, you'll pull a card from here and you'll set it here, and that'll be what they are doing. And when you, I suppose when you carry out certain actions, there'll be, and like, I don't know, say you walk past a guard, they'll have a reaction, and that'll be what gets carried out here. Next up, the character cards themselves. So, who do you get to play as in this game? Well, you get to play as Solid Snake himself. And it's got a little profile on the other side there. And on the back, it's got various actions he can take. You can play as Meryl. You can play as Otacon. And this is quite an interesting one, because you've got on one side the boss card, I believe, for the Cyborg Ninja. I think this is the boss side because it matches up with all the others. But you've also got a player side for the Cyborg Ninja because he's a playable character. So that's your 4 characters. On top of that, you've got the bosses. So you've got Ocelot, and you've got a VR mission variation for him. You've got, on this side, the tank, which is the second boss you encounter in the game. On this side, you've got Rex, which is the second last boss you encounter. You've got the Hind D gunship there. On the back side, you've got the VR mission variant for Liquid Snake. You've got probably the most famous boss in the Metal Gear franchise, Psycho Mantis. And on the other side, you've got the VR mission there. I'm quite intrigued as to how they do the Psycho Mantis fight, because there's no controller parts to be changed in this one. So I'm very, very intrigued to see what how they tackle that in a board game format. Oh, got Sniper Wolf on that side, and the VR mission variant. And you've got Vulcan Raven, and on this side, the variant for Raven. So, other things you get a memory box. Now, I love this box. It is shaped like a PlayStation 1 memory card. And what I presume this actually is I've mentioned that the campaign takes place over 14 missions. Now, you can't do all of them in one bloody night, so if you get so far, I suppose the idea is that you pack up your cards, you pop them in here for the next time you play, which is quite a good thing, because I have found that when I play longer board games, packing up and putting the cards away is a nightmare, because you don't know where to put the cards to save your progress, and then next time you come to play, especially in my case, because either me and my girlfriend will play a game, and that's alright for storing stuff, but in other cases I might take my board games around to my friend's place. Now, I live several hours away, it's only every 3 to 4 weeks, maybe longer, that we see each other, so by the time we come round to it again, we can't remember what we've left there, and any photos we've taken have been long buried. So having that, quite a good idea. I have not unpacked these yet, because it would take quite some time, but you get your guard reactions here, and weapons and such, and equipment cards, and what I presume are enemy actions like boss actions, because that was an Ocelot one. Next up, we remove a bit of plastic. You get your dice. So you get quite a lot of dice in this particular game. But on the back, what I do like is some of the dice actually have the little alert symbol that Metal Gear Solid is known for. So, just nice little, I like little quality of life, well, attention to detail bits like that in these board games. It makes it feel like quite a unique experience. At the end of the day, it's just a dice. You could get your game of Monopoly or whatever and use that. But the fact that they've kind of crafted something a little bit unique on it just makes it feel a little more integrated. And the super cool part of it, which we'll come to now, are the models themselves. So what you get here is quite a variety of models. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 guards in there. You get all your player pieces. You get your boss characters. You also get a giant railgun, and I presume that's the radar piece for Rex. So let's have a look at these one by, well, not one by one, but let's have a look at these a bit at a time. So all the guards look the same. And this is what the guards look like. So, Cool Mini or not generally do a really, really good job with their models. The Bloodborne ones in particular were absolutely lovely. But yeah, that's your guard. Next up, we have Solid Snake himself. Try and get that look a little better. Just holding his gun. Very, very, very particular stance for him. Not particular. Like, kind of his iconic stance is the word I'm looking for there. But yeah, it's really, really lovely. And one of the cool things some people do is they paint these up themselves. I wouldn't trust myself to do so. I do paint Warhammer. But there's so much detail on him that I feel like I would absolutely mess that up. You get... There's the Cyborg Ninja. Here is Meryl. We have Otacon himself there. And we also have a blue guard man. Some of the other things I do like here as well is you get, because one of the big mechanics that people always talk about with Metal Gear Solid is the ability to hide in a cardboard box. So you get a little cardboard box with little feet coming out of it, which I bloody love that. That's so fun. So we'll quickly whisk through the bosses. Revolver Ocelot. You've got Psycho Mantis. This is a really, really nice one. You've got Sniper Wolf there. With a wolf. Which I just think that is so lovely to see. Liquid. Himself. And finally, you have Vulcan Raven with his giant minigun. And the big piece of this, Rex himself. This is a lovely, lovely sculpted model. I absolutely adore this. Yeah, this is so, so nice. But yeah, so that is Metal Gear Rex. And to go alongside him, you get his cheeky railgun, which is, it's just a gun really. And you also get what I presume is the radar piece on him, which you destroy to kind of knock out his sense. I don't know if these actually clip onto him in any place, but it looks like they do actually. So yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. So that actually clips onto him. And the railgun. Very hard to do this when you're set up. So there you go. That's him complete. Look at that. That's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, there you have it. That was just a quick look at the Metal Gear Solid board game. Thought I'd do a nice little unboxing for you all. It's something I haven't done in a while. I am looking forward to actually sitting down to play this and learn the rules. What I might do is might try and record like a bit of a session of it if I can, if I get the time to do so. But yeah, let me know if it's something you'll be picking up yourself. Let me know if I've intrigued you by this. Let me know your favourite board games down below in the comments. And thank you very much for taking the time to watch this. I shall see you again in a future video. Goodbye.